Hello and welcome back to Crusader Kings II. When we last left the Duchy of Holland and its Duke, we had assassinated our rival in Trier down here, and we had also set up a plot to kill our half-brother, so that we could take over his duchy, which would give us basically three. In addition, King Carl was trying to revoke the County of Brabant away from us, and that same half-brother is trying to kill our other half-brother. So the plots thicken. I hadn't actually intended to get this intrigue-y with this guy, but it seems like a pretty good deal. We're still not married. I think we're probably going to stay unmarried for the duration, because I don't think we're going to be able to make really good alliances at this point. And we don't really need the bonus for his attributes. I mean, we could, but really I think it's easier, because then the heirs that we have do not, we don't increase the number of heirs. If we get another son, we're going to be splitting the empire, our empire, which is only two duchies, I know, but essentially we're splitting the empire in half, and giving half away. So let's not do that. Let's hold off on that. So that's pretty much where we are right now. We are leading troops in Bourbon. Can I click on this and get there? No. Bourbon is down here. So we're right in there somewhere. So let's get this started. We're going to increase the time so that it's up by 2 ticks. We're still trying to fabricate a claim in Loon. We're still waiting for Gelre to become somebody besides the kings. We're still waiting on the assassination here. Let me just check our plot people. Make sure that nobody else has come to the dark side. Nope. Nobody else has come to the dark side. So, hey, is there anybody? Here's somebody who wants to get married. Here's another one who wants to get married. Is there anybody in my court? Here's my court. Who is this exactly? She's got good traits too. So let's see if we can't sneak her into this court as well. Let's go this way. There's my half-brother. We'll arrange a marriage between her and this guy. Okay, and hopefully in the next couple of days Perfect. Okay, so let's go back to intrigue and see if we can't... There's somebody. Whoops. Let me pause right here. What is this? A message about invite to plot. We would like you to back our plot to kill Aldebert de Friesland. Okay, so basically what's happening is, here's this guy's plot. He's trying to kill Aldebert, who is the other half-brother. He's the heir to the county of Jülich. So he wants me to join his plot. Well, my opinion of Aldebert is -9. His opinion of me is 80, though. I don't know if I should take that offer or not. If I take that offer, and we kill off Adalbert, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I was essentially getting rid of one of the two half-brothers, but let's face it, this half-brother has not been a problem. He really likes me. I'm gonna decline. Meanwhile, she's gonna do 5%. Right here, we can send a gift. 20 gold. And then we can invite to plot. Okay, and then over here, we could send a little marriage gift over here. And then we can invite to plot. Okay. The biggest problem is that this plot power is going to go up, which is nice, but the more people who... I'm going to pause it just for a second because I got to deal with this, but the more people who join the plot, of course, the more chance there is of people finding out about the plot, which is kind of a problem. But, okay, so this is one child lacks a guardian, so the Duke's son is 6 years old now. So, he needs a guardian. So, basically what we want to do is that we want to say, educate child. Okay. And I can have somebody educate the child. Basically, the child is going to get the traits in the class of the people who educate them. So, but I want to have a little bit of control over what his traits are going to be. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to put myself in that position. I'm going to train him personally. Okay, so let's do that. See, what happens is right now, this is a blank slate. He has no traits before 6 years old. Okay, so let me continue. He has no traits before 6 years old. So, okay, so there's one more person and another person. Okay, my plot power is up to 92.3. Which is pretty good. That's close to 100%. Okay. But anyway, so, and then conditions will pop up every once in a while that concern educating the child. And based upon those decisions that are made, based upon those decisions, determines what direction the child is going to go in. Now, so I can sort of steer the traits to the way I want them to go. Not always, but a lot of the time. So, so this is educating. Now, when the Duke's daughter shows up, I may have somebody else educate her. Because the other thing is that when you entrust somebody to educate children, it increases their opinion of you, like by 20 or something, if they haven't already done so. So you can use that to help increase the way a certain person feels about you by doing that. This plot power lost a little bit, and I think it's based upon the chance that these guys have. Let's just check the list one more time. Okay. Okay, we're at 335 wealth again. So let's consider building some more stuff in the capital. I've got the shipyard. Let's build the keep. That will increase our levy size and garrison size by 10% each. So, okay. So now we're upgrading the keep. Let me go to the council and switch this guy to oversee the construction so that it goes faster. Okay, now these two wars, there's a Lombard revolt. Oh, he's down here. You can see the red marks. And the other one is this one, which is the middle Francine revolt. This is kind of interesting because, oh, all of these guys are allies. Really? Oops. Let me pause the game just for a second because King Carl did a couple of things. He inherited the county of Nantes and other titles from this guy who died. Nantes is over here. And then, immediately after that, he created the Duchy of Poitou. So let me see how many duchies he has right now. He's got Gelre and Poitou. So he must have given the other one up, which was like Normandy or something else. Okay. So let's continue onwards. Yeah, I don't trust him. He's kind of a jerk. So, oh, here we go. This is an example. Every time my son Arnold meets a stranger, he looks like he might faint. Okay, the lad's a bit shy, so here's shy. Diplomacy -2. And he gets shy. And then his opinion of the Duke changes by 10, meaning, okay, I just let him do it. Shyness can be cured by the birch. There's a 40% chance that he loses the trait shy. Okay, shyness is a terrible curse. I'll have a talk with him. 50% chance that he gains the trait gregarious, 40% chance that he loses the trait shy, and 10% chance of no effect. Or pray that Jesus will provide the strength. I gain 5 piety, and there's a 20% chance that he loses shy. I think I'm going to go with this one. Now let's pop this up right now. Right now he has the shy, okay? So if I do this one, he's just going to keep it. And then for these, there's a percentage chance that we'll get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. I would rather he be gregarious or not shy, because shy is a kind of a minus. So let me do this, and now he's gregarious. He seems to be getting along with everyone. He has gained the gregarious trait. If parenting was just this easy in real life, things would be a lot simpler. Anyway, so now he's gregarious, and gregarious gives us +2 to diplomacy, attraction opinion +5, vassal opinion +5, and people who are also gregarious are going to think he's nice, so that's +5 too. So far so good. This indicates that he's the heir and that he's being tutored. And then it shows the guardian. The guardian is the tutor person. Oh. His friend is Helibad von Holland. And the county of Styx changed its culture to Dutch. That's kind of interesting. These are Frisian. And this is Frisian, but now this is Dutch. That's oh, okay. Freeland up here is also Dutch. It's interesting because eventually the culture of this entire area changes from Frisian to Dutch. This guy is Frankish too. That's interesting. Anyway, okay, we're still waiting here. These two wars are kind of coming to a close right now. Let's check in on our factions. There's this independence faction right here. And if you remember last time, I was thinking about joining the independence faction and then trying to take on the Kingdom of West Francia. The problem with that is that the King of West Francia is friends with like Middle Francia and Lombardy and all these other places. So all these armies would just come in here and basically crush the revolt, which is part of the problem. We sort of have to bide our time. If I get the third duchy, I might make a play. Maybe, but we'll see what happens. It would also help if more people joined this resistance here. We got the guy from Dax and the guy from Gascon, which is this whole area down here. Yeah. So here's the Pope and all the guys, and oops, we're auto-saving right now. It must be a new year. Okay, in intrigue, this is back at 92.3%, which is kind of nice. Oh, let me pause just for a second. So right now, I'm Frankish. Okay, that's my culture. When I go into intrigue here, I have a new option under intrigue, which is embrace the Dutch culture. And what this does is distinct cultural traditions are evolving in the Low Countries, with many people now calling themselves Dutch. We can embrace this change ourselves. Okay, so the condition is that my culture is currently Frankish, and what this does is that I become Dutch, Fastrada and Arnoul both become Dutch too. So all three, basically the Duke's family becomes Dutch. And so that we're not considered to be foreigners anymore by any of our territories that happen to be a Dutch culture. In other words, people look at us and say, okay, we're Dutch. Unfortunately, what that does is that all of the Frankish people that we know, like King Carl and our half-brothers, will look at us as a foreigner now because we have embraced the culture. So, think I'm going to hold off on that right now. But it is an interesting option. I'm just looking around. Oh, we can do one of these too. Let's push up gosh, either heavy infantry or cavalry. Let's push up cavalry because it's kind of far back. Or we could do heavy infantry because we got more of them. Let's do cavalry. Okay, so I just upped cavalry. So now we get bonuses with cavalry. Are there any other technologies? No. Okay, so let's continue. We'll unpause. Let's take a look at the laws. Feudal taxations. Yeah, we could actually tax the nobles. Right now we only really have one noble, and that's the guy in Sticht. But let's hold off on that right now. Okay, the master builders in Holland, so that will increase the amount of time that it will take to build that what is it that we're building? We're building the keep in Holland. Ah, okay. Here we go. The daughter now needs someone to educate her. So, let's see. This guy. Well, he's strong, and he's trusting, and he's ambitious, and he's diligent and humble. That would be kind of an interesting choice. His diplomacy skill is quite good. But he's our marshal. Let's take a look at... Wow. Kind of like everybody likes me. I mean, the worst is a 12, which is still pretty good. So let's look at... Gosh, let's look at... attributes. You know, that, this one is not a bad pick, actually. Oh, he's the current guardian. So, educate child. And that's the one. And we'll do that. And send. Okay. So now she's being tutored by Ragnard, or Ragnar. Okay. So now wait. Let's check out our intrigue. Oh, we've got 2 people in here now. It's at 67%. Of Aquitaine. No. Okay. Now, one of the things that I could do, if I was afraid that King Carl was going to take the Duchy of Brabant away, is that I could actually give it up to my son right now. The problem with that is that he then goes into his own court, and I no longer have very much control over him. Oh, this plot power went down. Okay. That's a very interesting faction. So we've got this King Carloman for West Francia. Okay, this is the king of Middle Francia. So this guy is essentially suggesting that this guy become king, that we usurp the existing king and put his brother King Carloman on there, so that King Carloman would now control Middle and West Francia. That would be interesting. Unfortunately, the strength is 55 men, so I don't think that's going to fly. But, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Let's look back at intrigue just for a second. Yeah, this has gone down. And let me see if there's anybody else. Nobody else would really be interested in the plot. One of the things that I can do, though, and let me just unpause, but I can actually build a spy network in Luxembourg to increase my plot power. So I think I'm going to do that right there. So let's see what that does for us. Oh, he got rid of the plot. Whoa, pause. Stop. My plot's gone. And my half-brother's plot is gone. And he's gone off of here. I'm wondering if something happened to him. Okay. So the Duke's son Arnold has a tender and loving soul, trusting everyone in the castle. I fear he will get hurt someday. Those who love get love in return, so he gains the trait kind. So let's look at... So he's got kind already, okay? So we could let that just happen. Okay, we could show everybody how virtuous he is. So for some reason, her opinion of the boy would go down by 10. And then, because I'm basically bragging about him. Thank the Lord for Arnold's virtues. Okay, so 90% chance of no effect. He might also gain the trait envious. And then tender soul, I'll give him a tender back, which basically means I'm beating him out of him. So there's a 50% chance that he gains envious and 40% that he loses kind. I don't think kind is such a terrible thing. It doesn't make for good intrigue, but it does make for a good diplomat. And vassals like it too, so let's do that. Plus he'll like me a little more, so I'm going to keep kind in there. Now the other thing that I want to do, guess who had a child? Guess who had a child right before he died? That would be my half-brother. And he is now the Duke of Luxembourg. Well, he's still an ally, I hope. He is still an ally, so that's helpful still, at least. But yeah, so that when people die, it essentially takes takes out the plot against him. Thankfully, it took out the fact that he was backing this, so now this is back down to 54%, which is kind of good. Still holding on. Still considering that embracing. Whoa, pause, stop. Lots of stuff happening. Somebody started up a revolt somewhere. Ypres, the Ypres revolt. Okay, so that would be these guys right up here. This is Ypres. And a whole bunch of guys just showed up here. This is their revolt. They're going to try to take over Ypres and then, become independent. It's not going to happen because King Carloman's going to crush them, but we'll see what happens. The other thing is that King Carl created the Duchy of Cologne, which is right here. So let's see if he gave Gelre to somebody. Here's Cologne. There's Gelre. He's holding on to Gelre specifically. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh. Well, all good things must come to an end. This guy does not like his brother anymore. Wow, look at that. They're rivals now. Wow. Okay. So let's keep going. So every once in a while the peasants revolt, and this is basically what happens. Oh, finally. So my work in Liam seems to have come to fruition by bribing, cajoling, extorting, fabricating, and forging documents. I've managed to fabricate a claim on the county of Loon, presently held by the Count Thurimbert of Loon. I leave it up to you whether you use it or not. So I could use it. I'm going to lose a bunch of gold and a bunch of prestige for it. But of course I'm going to use it. Okay, now I have to pause just for a second just to take a look at this guy. Here's the Count of Loon. And he has two... He has a strong claim on the County of Pfalz. He's got a strong claim on the Bishopric of Liege. He's got 633 troops. This guy has 330. And then this guy has 336. So, my feeling is that that's like a total of 1,200 guys. My military currently, right now, without even pulling from the vassals, is 2,000. So I believe that I could handedly defeat him in battle. So, let's do that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to declare war. And now we have a casus belli, which is a reason for war. Because we have the claim on Loon right there. Okay, and we're going to do that. And we will send. Now everything is paused. So the next thing I'm going to do, I can call allies. So I might, you know what, I'm not even going to bother calling him in. I'll save him for another time. If you call in allies too often, they don't particularly like you very much. So, so rather than do that, that's what that indicator is for. I'm going to raise personal levies. Now all the green guys are mine. Okay? And I'm going to select them all by dragging a box around them. And then I'm going to have them all meet in Breda, which is right here. Okay, now you can see that there's arrows pointing to where the troops are all going to go. So they're all basically going to show up here. And hopefully what's going to happen is when Loon raises their 600 troops, they're not going to run in here and try to kill this guy before these guys show up. So that's the first thing. And our war is right down here. So, okay, let's unpause the game. And okay, there they are. Now, if I need more troops, I can get them. Okay, so let's pause. I get this whole group, everybody selected. I'm going to use this to merge selected units. Okay, and that way I've got one whole army of guys. And then without further ado, we're going to go in and attack. Now what's going to happen is, it's going to take us a little time to get there. We're going to fight, and you'll see that there's these little indicators. They indicate how the battle's going. This is retreat. And the little horses, the horses are for us basically running after them. And there's swords crossed, which means that we're in battle, and there's bows, which indicate we're skirmishing. So here's basically what happened. I have no control over that, by the way. That just happens on its own. So I lost 68 guys. They lost 470 guys. They've got 251 left. So, okay. And Ragnachar, he's one of the guys who must have been leading one of the troops, has been captured in battle. He's now my prisoner. Okay. So these guys are going to retreat out to here. Now I could go after them, but I'm going to stay and siege this area right here. Now the other thing I could do is I could also split, and actually maybe I'll do that. I'll split my army off. To do a siege, here's the siege screen. Okay, this is the number of attackers, this is the number of defenders. The number of attackers has to be greater than the number of defenders. Otherwise you can't siege. Okay, and then every week, every 12 days, that morale is going to go down by 5.6. And when it gets down to 0, I basically win the siege. But I'm going to split my troops. Now I can say new unit and split them individually, or I could split it in half. And this basically tries to make it half and half, as evenly as it can split it. Let me go into new unit so I can show you what that looks like. So here's the new unit screen. I can take off guys out of this one and move them into this one, and then like select this unit, and now I've got 2 units. And that second one I'm going to move over into here. Whoa, King Carl's declared his claim on Saxony. Wow, so he's claiming all of Saxony right here. That's pretty huge. Okay, so I defeated them. There's nobody left there. So now that that's done, I'm going to move back here. Okay, now that this is done, I'm going to combine these 2 back together again. My half-brother is leading this group in here. It's the army of Alibert, or Adalbert. Okay, so if I look at my screen, okay, this is the Hollander claim on Loon. I got 74%. Okay, so it's 48 and 26, 74. I'm going to have to occupy. I could try to offer peace right now, but if I enforce the demands, he's going to say no. I'm losing, but I won't give up yet. And I don't want to do any of the other 2. Okay, so this is going down pretty quick. Oh, because I've got it at essentially like, you know, the second speed. So it's going down pretty quick. This should be over pretty soon, and then what will happen is I will gain control of Loon. This guy gets kicked out. You know, this guy gets kicked out. I get installed. I get put in as the count. My domain size is going to go up by 1, which may end up being a problem, but I may end up giving this county to somebody. Maybe I'll give it to my half-brother. Maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out once we win. Oh, I was inspecting the damage to the highest tower in Anhalt when the head of Arnold appeared outside the window 50 meters above the ground. What should I do with this curious child? Curiosity never killed anyone. So, curiosity has never killed anyone. So 50% chance that he gains the trait honest. 35% chance that he gains the trait brave. 10% chance that he's wounded, 5% chance that he's maimed, and his opinion of Duke Ansem changes by negative 200 for 5 years. It means he hates him. Okay, teach him a lesson. 80% chance that he gains the trait maimed, and 20% chance that he dies. And negative 200. Strictly forbid him to climb the tower. He gains the trait deceitful, or he gains the trait craven, and it's a coin cost 50-50. Ugh. Well, I would like him. I wouldn't mind him getting honest or brave. It would be really bad if he got wounded or maimed, of course. Teach him a lesson. I'm like kicking him out the window. I don't want him getting deceitful or craven, though. That's deceitful wouldn't be terrible. Well, it would undo kind, but craven is that's just horrible. Brave would be great. And honest is not actually too bad. Honest would help with his diplomacy stuffs. He's not going to be much of a spy master, so... let me do this and see what happens. He has gained the honest trait. So he's now honest, kind, and gregarious. But of course now he probably hates my guts. Okay, so this is almost done. And it's victory. Okay? It indicates how much gold I got in the siege and how much piety I gained in the siege. I didn't gain any piety in the siege because it wasn't against infidels, basically. So, whoops. Jen is no longer spy master for Duke Ansem. He probably passed on. So, let's do spy master will be... I guess that's the best guy. And hey, he wants to become spy master, so that's pretty good. And he's currently leading troops. Okay. So, okay, so this is done. Now, I'm going to pause just for a second. This is at 100% right now. So I'm going to offer peace. I'm going to enforce demands, which they're like, yes, we're totally beaten now. And we send. And I've usurped the title of County of Loon from this guy. Okay. Now my domain size is too big, of course. And the war has ended. Okay. So, let's take a look at this. Well, Loon is not going to have any troops. It's not going to reinforce very much because it's just been taken over, I think. But it'll be interesting to see how much this is. It's getting 5.4 right now, and the castle level is 4.0. So if I'm actually going to give one up to somebody, I would probably do this one. It has the least amount of tax revenue, and as I remember, the army is not very big there either. So now I've got this army. The war's done. I got to disband it. So let's disband the entire unit. Okay. And I'm in my own territory now because I just took this over, so I don't have a loss. If you're outside of your territory and you do this, only a certain percentage of guys actually go home. So okay, they all go away. Okay, so now we can see the troop levels again. Okay, and Ath is kind of low, so that's Henot. So I may give Henot to somebody. Maybe. We'll think about it. Now, our spy master is idle because he was... so I'm just going to have him scheme. But every once in a while I do that. Scheme and click in Holland. Okay. I may give it to him. I don't know. He led the troops. The only thing I worry about is if I have too many counts when this guy dies. When the sun takes over, usually it takes a little while for the counts to warm up to the new leader, and they tend to be problematic. So the less counts that I have to deal with over here, probably the better. So far it looks like they're winning. So West Francia may actually take this over, which would be pretty nuts. It would be pretty crazy if that happened, because... Okay, so, here's another one. This is a guy from Loon. Okay, and he says Bishop Godshelm of Hasselt claims that he would be a better court chaplain than Bishop Berald, and he petitions to be given the title of court chaplain. Okay, so here's basically what happens. This guy thinks he is better. He would make a better court chaplain than this guy. Okay, so here's this guy. He's got a 15 learning. That's pretty good. What does this guy got? This guy's got a 17. This guy's got a 15, and he's got a 17 for diplomacy, too. Wow. Okay, so basically, if I do this, this guy doesn't, this number goes down by 20. Okay, because I basically fired him from his job. And this guy becomes a new court chaplain. Or I say, give him a chance. And so he'll actually hear of our patience with him. Or I basically say, I rule in the Duchy of Holland. And in which case that kind of pisses that guy off and he loses prestige. Because I basically, I basically backhand him. No. So, I don't know. It's actually, see, normally when I do this, I take a look at the two guys, and I say, because sometimes these guys come up and they're like only one more, and I'm like, for one more, it's not that big of a deal. But this guy, it goes up by 2. You know what? I'm going to make him my new court chaplain. Okay, and then he is going to... Loon is Catholic, so that's good. So let's go proselytize, research cultural tech, or improve religious relations. Let's research cultural tech and let the cultural tech spread. Let's go back to technology, and we will increase let's increase our heavy infantry. Okay. Let's take a look at this intrigue thing. Oh, he got another backer. Oh yeah, all the dukes that he just put in there. Really? Yeah, see, it's all the dukes he just put in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 to 3. Jeez. How old is this guy? Is this guy gonna die soon? This guy really wants this county of Brabant. Oops. It's another Slavic uprising. Now that we're in the middle of this fight for Saxony. Oh, that's not going to go well. Now, if you watch, the little dots indicate what the states are. So, those guys are getting pummeled. Oh, and they got just, like, annihilated. There they are. Oh, the Gascon guy. Oops. This guy died. Poor health. Okay, so let's make a new spy master. We'll go with this guy who's got an 11. Scheme here. Okay. We finished the construction here, so let's have him collect taxes. There. Okay, let's take a look at our factions. We have the Independence faction, which is now 42% of the liege, is only 362 men. That's because these guys are getting, those guys are getting hurt. Oh, a noble has distinguished himself in battle. So we get a soldier. Wow. The armies of the Slavic uprising are kicking some butt. Yeah, they're going to lose now, though. Another noble soldier named Carloman. You don't know how tough that a name that is, really. Oh, Baden is part of the Kingdom of Bavaria, so the Middle France is trying to take this over, or take it back, I guess. It's probably more like it. Nope. The Saxony army beat up the Lombardy army over there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough, but the interesting part about this is 465 guys is 53% of the liege's force. That's nuts. I mean, okay, like if I pause and I go like this, that's 247%. But I don't really want to do that. Not yet. He'll call in Lombardy and then we'll be in trouble. And not only that, but even if we win and we gain independence, we'd still have to fight off other people who would want to take over the territory. Like Middle France or, Saxony if they're still alive or something like that. I mean, it just, if we had our, his ex-wife as if she had remained faithful, then we would have the King of Lombardy as a potential ally, and so that would help. Okay, so my son Arnold makes sure everyone gets exactly the same amount of whatever sweets the cooks give the children. I'm so proud of him. So he would get just. Wow. Or we would explain to him how the world works. I want to keep just, though. Just is pretty good. Okay, so I think we're going to let the year run out unless something crazy happens. We'll actually stop it somewhere pretty close around here. Let's wait until we get into November. Okay, so we're in November. We're going to save right here. And we'll pick this up next time. It's getting kind of interesting now. So, we'll see what happens. We'll continue trying to make sure that the king doesn't take away our counties and all this other good stuff. We've taken over Loon, so we do have to move this guy and work on another claim somewhere. But that'll be for next time. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you had a great time watching it, and see you next time.